Thursday, fam. What's up? Thank you for being with us on this Tuesday. My guys, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. How we doing?
What's up?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to go.
I feel like.
Thank you. Thank you. Trying to do a little something, trying to keep up with you two.
Well, just remember, you don't have to try too hard.
Thank you.
That's right.
You guys ready to do this?
We definitely we do. We need all the help we can get. By the way, you saw that picture they showed of me on Mike and Mike, really getting on my nerves. I've worked a lot. I worked very, very hard with the green smoothie drinks. Remember that girl, J.J. Smith, the best-selling author?
Yes.
Yeah, I followed her lead, got the green smoothie drink and what have you. You know, I lost these 10 pounds. My belly has dissipated significantly. And then Mike and Mike going to show a picture with me with a belly on. I appreciate that. I don't appreciate it. I'm just saying.
We need to make that happen. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. We begin with Drew Brees. With 1 year left on his contract, Drew Brees and the Saints are marching back to the negotiating table. But according to our Ed Werder, there's been minimal progress made as the clock ticks down towards Brees' self-imposed Sunday deadline, given that he has been adamant that he does not want to negotiate during the regular season. This sticking point, according to Werder, is like other top quarterbacks. Brees, at age 37, wants more than $60 million guaranteed in a $100 million contract. So at age 37, a $100 million contract with $60 million guaranteed. Stephen A., does he deserve that?
Hell yes. Absolutely, positively. There is nothing to discuss here. You better not argue with me about this. This is not something to debate with me about, Max Kellerman. This is Drew Brees. The disrespect that I see Drew Brees receiving with people that are questioning whether or not he deserves this is absolutely asinine. He is Drew Brees. For the last 10 years, I'm going to say this, 10 years, Drew Brees has thrown for in excess of 4,000 yards. 4 of those times is for in excess of 5,000 yards. He's got a Super Bowl championship on his resume, and it damn sure ain't his fault that the New Orleans Saints can't get back into the playoffs in recent memory. Their defense stink. It's an abomination. There is no excuse why this New Orleans Saints team can't be a perennial Super Bowl contender with Drew Brees doing the things that he has done on the offensive side of the ball. Last year, Max Kellerman, was a down year, a relatively down year. I think we would say that. Molly, you know your football. You know what I'm saying. It's a relatively down year for Drew Brees, not for everybody else. Let's look at the numbers here, Max Kellerman. 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, okay? A quarterback rating of 101, a QBR of 75, and oh, by the way, 4,870 yards, completing 68% of his passes. This is Drew Brees. This is the Drew Brees that we're talking about here. So what's the issue? If you are the New Orleans Saints, not only does he deserve the money, it's an insult that you even argue with him about giving it to him, because what the hell else do you have? Who are you going to put in that position? Who is the leader of your team? It certainly ain't Sean Payton. It ain't somebody on the defensive side of the ball. We're hoping that you'll have a defense. We're hoping that you'll stick with a defensive coordinator. We look at Sean Payton, not going to knock him too much because he's a Super Bowl championship coach, and offense is his pedigree, not necessarily defense. But when I look at New Orleans, it's Drew Brees and everybody else. Without Drew Brees, there is nobody else that's worth talking about. So as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing to think about here. Drew Brees deserves his money. If Tony Romo is getting $55 million guaranteed, $108 million contract, if Jay Cutler is in the midst of a $126 million deal with over $50 million guaranteed, okay? Excuse me, Cam Newton, dare I say Cam Newton, because he is the reigning league MVP, tier 2 nevertheless, but he is Cam Newton, the reigning league MVP. Bottom, hold on, wait a minute. Is Cam Newton a better pocket passer than Drew Brees? Y'all know better. So all I'm saying is, if Cam Newton is guaranteed $60 million and he does not have a Super Bowl championship, why on earth does Drew Brees have to argue about this? I want to hear that you know what? The ageism, it's racism and sexism, ageism against you, because anybody that's over the age of 38, Max got a problem with that. Right. He's sitting up there looking at them, the dust collected on their birth certificate. He's counting them out. Not Drew Brees.
9,
he deserves
10,
his money.
You're out.
He deserves his money. Give Drew Brees his money.
And
that's all I'm saying.
Got his money. He's been paid for all those seasons. For all those seasons you just talked about. Okay. He got paid for those already.
So what's your answer?
This contract is for what he's going to do. Okay. And there is no way you should give him $100 million.
$60 million guarantee? He don't deserve that?
Look, this is very simple. He will be 38 when the playoffs roll around. Whether or not they're in the playoffs, but he's going to be 38 when these playoffs roll around. So before this NFL season is completely done, 38 years old. Do you know how many quarterbacks in the history of humanity, in the history of the known universe, do you know how many quarterbacks have ever maintained an elite level at the age of 41? Because that answer would be 0. They all fall off a cliff.
Keep talking. You're getting yourself in trouble. Keep talking. Keep talking.
If they're throwing 55 touchdowns in a season, as Peyton Manning did, and it looked like he was on pace to do it, and then they fall off. Well, that was because of injury. Yeah, you know what happens to old guys? They get hurt. Not only because they're just out on the field and exposed to more, but because their bodies don't react to things the same way. No one has ever done it ever at the age of 41.
You know what?
That's why I said Tom Brady is going to fall off a cliff. The same thing will happen to Drew Brees. But according to you, not only is Tom Brady going to still be elite for the first time in human history at the age of 41, so is Drew Brees. He's going to be the next. It's like the 4-minute mile. One guy's going to break it, they're all going to break it.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm on record. Let me be very, very clear. Tom Brady's going to be elite. Tom Brady's 38.
At the age of 41?
39. 2 years from now, Tom Brady's going to be elite. Book it.
First one
no
ever.
father time.
First one
Father
ever.
time, not undefeated.
Devoid of injury. Let me explain.
Caveat.
No, let me explain. This is football. If you sit up there and get your chest caved in, or get your ankle broke, or your
football.
or your kneecap separated, you're talking age and attrition. I'm simply saying, if those dudes, if no major injury takes place, Tom Brady's going to be elite in 2 years. Drew Brees is going to be elite in 3 years. I believe it. And by the way, let's hold on. Tell me.
Injury got something to do with it, too.
Let's take this a little bit further.
You can't pay 'em.
We know that the Saints have missed the playoffs the last couple of years, okay? If we look at them from last year, all right, what do we have here? The worst defense in football, second worst in yards allowed, second worst in yards allowed passing, the second worst in rush yards allowed. But in the midst of all of that, with a defense that gives you nothing, teams running all over them, passing all over them, accumulating yards against them, moving the chains against them, scoring points against them. When Drew Brees had the ball, the Saints are the number 8 overall offense, number 2 in yards, the number 1 passing attack in football.
Well,
hold on, So, what's their argument? They got the 24th ranked rushing attack. This is the Saints. So your defense stinks, your running game stinks. Drew Brees is everything. He's everything. And where did my boy Max Kellerman, the capitalist, go? That the dude that said what the market allows. What did that do? Remember that dude? Don't you sit next to that dude? Well, haven't you been sitting next to some dude for more than a month, Molly, that talks about capitalism, that talks about the market? Where did that dude go?
I talk about labor, too.
By the way, where's the dude that is the boxing analyst extraordinaire? I mean, I think Jim Lampley is the greatest voice in boxing since Howard Cosell. But, I mean, damn, as much as I love Larry Merchant, if you was going to replace Larry Merchant with anybody, there's only one man, and that's Max Kellerman. I'm sorry, did George Foreman win a championship at the age of 45? Didn't we see old Thomas step into the ring and knock out young bucks? This is what happens in the sport of boxing. So what I'm saying is, in a pugilistic, violent sport, we've seen old hands be the exception from time to time. But in the sport of football, all of a sudden, Max Kellerman wants to forget all of that and engage and exercise selective amnesia and act like that is not a reality that is possible.
Oh, listen,
you should be ashamed of yourself.
In boxing history,
you should be ashamed.
Archie Moore fought on a championship level till his mid-40s. So the fact that Foreman was able to do it, it's not unprecedented, and sometimes even unprecedented things happen. But in football, where, again, no one has ever done it at the age of 41, you not only think Tom Brady's going to do it, you think Drew Brees is going to do it. Oh, barring injury. But that's kind of what happens and is one of the reasons why.
But wait a minute. Injuries happen to a 20-year-old. Injuries happen to a 20-year-old. Injuries happen to a 25-year-old.
But there have been plenty 25-year-olds who've been elite.
It's not wrong for me to sit up there and say, you're saying for the time. I'm saying, wait a minute, an injury could take anybody out no matter the age.
NFL is because it's a hard cap league. The job of a GM, probably more than anything else, this includes the draft, it includes free agents, it includes keeping your guys on your own roster, is properly evaluating and pricing talent. And if you give Drew Brees, say, 4 years guaranteed at the age of 37 and a half plus, you are going to have dead money on your books for the last year and a half of the contract. It doesn't make sense. This is what the negotiation is about. We know you want this number. That's prorated based on too many years.
I'm not thinking about the years. I'm thinking about the cash. See, that's how you need to just turn in your capitalistic card. I'm thinking cash money.
And by the way,
I'm thinking 60 million. Don't tell me that Tony Romo, Mr. Bad Back himself, okay, or Jay Cutler, Mr. Irrelevant, leaderless self that he is. Don't tell me these dudes, deserve in excess of 50 million in guaranteed, but Drew Brees doesn't deserve 60. You got to be smoking something. You got to be smoking something.
I am pro-labor, and I hate to be talking
You're pro-labor, pro-capitalism. You're for, you're against. Come on.
I hate to be talking about not paying another man, Drew Brees. I hope you go get your money. But if I were the Saints, I wouldn't give it to him. Not the length and the numbers he wants.
Baby, you could come to me with the link. We could debate that.
But that's the guaranteed money.
The 60 million he's talking about, I would give Drew Brees that if I had to give it to. The only reason I wouldn't give it to him over 2 years is because of the cap. If I could, I'd give it to him in one. I'd give it to him in one. He deserves. No. I know what. I promise you that Drew Brees gonna show up this year and ball like he always. I believe in that man. I believe in that man. Drew Brees is no joke.
Is he asking for a one-year deal? Is his guarantee based on 1 year?
No. But what if it was guaranteed? What if it was based off of 2 or 3 years? If you could give him 60 million in that time span, I'd do it. He deserves the 60 million. He is tier 1, legitimate, undeniable. Tier 1.
There is always question.
Oh, please. Look,
the reigning MVP is also.
I got number love for Cam, but come on. Come on. I need more than 1 year. Drew Brees, I just gave you 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah, and he made all the money in the past.
Oh, please.
Now we're talking about what he's going to get paid going forward.
Say he made all that money in the past. I thought he was underpaid sometimes in the past. Personally, Drew Brees is a bad man. He's a bad man.
No denying that.
All right.